O'Reilly! You've got questions? O'Reilly Auto Parts has answers. Need a pro you can trust? We've got that too. No matter what you need, our professional parts people have the training and expertise to help you do things right. Deep automotive knowledge, just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hashtag no music, no intro. Another episode of Hashtag Saints for the podcast coming at you. And, whew, man, I know they played on Monday Night Football, but I'm like, man, we got to talk about the Saints again. Again, bro. Previewing the game against the Pittsburg Steelers on Sunday. We kind of hit up on it in the recap episode for the Ravens about just like how many more games this Saints team are going to win. And if you just look at the schedule, this is one of like the few games in theory that they should potentially win against the 2-6 Steelers. But honestly, I have no clue. I don't know with this team. I think they, as you put in our podcast episode name, the team has kind of showed you who they are. Now you have a Saints team going to Pittsburgh against the Steelers. Of course, TJ Watt's going to be back. I called it at the end of the recap, bruh. Called it, bruh. I just know. And then Matthew Stafford has a concussion. He might not play on Sunday for the Rams. But guess what? Next Sunday,
he'll be good.
Strapped up, ready to go, bruh. So the Saints are a badly coached team. Head coach wise, some bad offensive coaching. Their defense is taking a step back. And you would think that even with that, they should have a chance to get the Steelers, but they have some pretty fucking big injuries from the game on Monday Night Football. Your center, Eric McCoy, is out. Shout out to Cesar Ruiz. I do want to be somewhat positive. The fact that he's established himself as being at least shown to be an average player in the NFL and at times shown to be like a little above average. Like that's impressive, man. Like it's impressive. But you're dealing with the injury on the offensive line. You're dealing with injuries of Pete Warner. Like this team isn't coached well and they're hurt. And it's like, that's a bad recipe.
It's just too much to overcome, man. And, just the Steelers, they kind of, they're not in a good spot right now either. Only won 2 games this year. Mike Tomlin, they always say he doesn't have any losing seasons. But it's looking like he might have one this year. But, they're one of those teams that could kind of, nut up at any time. They beat the Bucks a couple of weeks ago. Who was the other win? They beat the Bengals in week 1, I think.
Yes, that's what it was.
Yeah. But, a lot of the other team games are tight, so they're one of them teams, man, that kind of just you hanging around a little bit in the fourth quarter, and it's like, man, hold up now. Like, I'm about to lose this game, you know what I'm saying?
Go ahead.
So, I'm not looking at this game as a gimme at all.
Oh, God. No.
It's impossible to look at the Saints and see any gimmies. And the question is, offensively, we know offensively, even though the Saints have improved week to week, they could really just think it up, and it just goes downhill, and the defense just hasn't been good enough to, overcome that.
They stunk it up against the Ravens, and people kept putting this point on Twitter, and I wish I would have talked about it or brought it up during the recap show. Is Pete Carmichael has been average at best as an offensive play caller, and then sometimes in some games he's just been dreadful. Yeah. Monday night was a dreadful game by him in terms of play calling, but it kind of goes back to the whole this man wanted to be on vacation right now. Like, I think, like, we didn't forget about it, but we don't even talk about it that much. But, like, just coming full circle. Oh, we did an offensive coordinator search. We brought in Jay Gruden. We brought in, some other people. No, you know what? Let's reach out to the guy that has told us he doesn't want to do that. He does not want this job.
That man wanted a nice little senior consultant position.
That's it. That's it.
Chilling like what's my boy?
Bruce Arians.
Like Bruce Arians, just sitting there, coming downstairs every now and then, seeing what's going on. Like,
still getting them checks on the 15th and the 30th. Like, Pete wanted that life, and so it just goes like, I think it all goes back to the, like, just, I don't want to say dysfunction, but like just incompetence. It seems like that's going on in the front office of just like what is going on? Like what is going on, man? And then focusing on the game. A big part of this game, and they showed a stat during Monday Night Football, was such a telling stat that prior to the Ravens game, the Saints offensive line, or the Saints offense in general, had not given up a single sack in the last two games prior to the Ravens game. That Ravens game, the Ravens had 4. I know they had 4 when that stat was shown on the screen. They maybe ended with more sacks by the end of the game. Justin Houston was the AFC Player of the fucking week, Ryan.
In the world?
Justin Houston, bro. And I'm just thinking, like, man, if Justin Houston was doing that against Ram and our offensive line, what's TJ Watt about to do, bro?
He about to come out smoking.
I remember that 2018 playoff game, and this was Ram at his best, right? Before, like, the injuries had kind of slowed him down. But that matchup against him and TJ Watt was just like football porn, bro. Because there were some reps where Ram won, and there were some reps where TJ Watt won, and it was just just a beautiful thing to see. But like, that was 4 years ago, and TJ Watt has improved as a player, and that man was a defensive player of the year last year. It's like,
exactly.
And like, Ram he's had the games where he's looked like old Ram, like that Raiders game. He shut out Max Crosby. He was dominant in that game. And then the Ravens game, it was just like it's that consistency isn't there anymore in him as a player.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, it's going to be a huge matchup, man. Like, because one of the few saving graces of the offense, like you've been able to say, is okay. The last couple of weeks, the pass protection has been pretty good. And look, outside of TJ Watt, the Steelers don't have much, but they could bring it a little bit. And when you look at what they do in the secondary with Fitzpatrick, that dude, every time I look, it just seems like he's taking the ball away. So I mean, they got to watch out for that, man. Like, you don't want the Steelers defense to get all hyped up and you start getting picks and forcing fumbles and all that stuff, because the offense just doesn't have enough firepower, with the QB, with the injuries and all that, to bounce back from all that. Like, they got to play almost perfect just to have a chance. Which kind of goes into the question about quarterback. Like, there's been grumblings, of course. Like, is it time to mix it up a little bit? Maybe get Jameis back in there. Like, where are you at with it now?
Like, does it really fucking matter?
I know it's like, doesn't matter.
that legitimately is my honest opinion. Like, yeah, like, maybe put Jameis back in, but like, if you do, like the ills of the team are still there. What was interesting was it today or yesterday or whatever fucking days all mixing in together. Dennis Allen said in the presser that, talking about the upcoming Steelers game, that Kenny Pickett was the Saints, top rated quarterback in the draft. I thoroughly liked and borderline loved Kenny Pickett as a prospect. That is showing to be like maybe I was wrong. It's early, but the early results are not promising. But it would be the most Saints shit ever for him to come out and say that this week, and then Kenny Pickett just light up fucking the Saints on Sunday, and then everybody's like, "Well, if he was your number one Raider quarterback, then why didn't you draft him?" Like,
I know, right?
you just see it, bro?
I mean, the Steelers, like, reporters already asked him, like, hey, you know, he was like, yeah, I met with the Saints a bunch during the offseason, and I mean, all that. But they passed on you twice and all that. I'm like, oh, Lord, here we go.
Here we go, bro.
You know, and I don't know if Kenny Pickett ever seemed like the type of dude that is motivated by that type of shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I could definitely see just one of those, him having a game, like having a nice little, you know, Kenny Pickett. Hey, Kenny Pickett looking pretty good. You know?
He's turning the corner.
2 touchdowns, you know, has 2 touchdowns and, you know, maybe scrambles and gets one in the end zone, you know what I'm saying? You can just see him having this kind of little coming out party against the Saints. And it's just like another thing on the list for Saints fans, like, oh, Lord, here we go. You know, but you do wonder, like, you know, what could have been, you know, like, even if he, you know, say he's not played great this year, you know, I don't think anybody expected him to have like a great rookie year. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's none of these quarterbacks, like even Malik Willis, who we love, you know, like,
yeah, it's been rough, man. It's been rough
out there. You know what I'm saying? So, like, this was not like a pristine quarterback class. You know what I'm saying?
This is a game. It wasn't a pristine quarterback class. I do think what I'm trying to be better about as a fan of football and also as a draft Nick, and I'm trying to be more patient with players. And I think anyone who is a fan of football and the NFL and also the draft Nick, you have to learn to be more patient with players. Perfect example. Tua Tagovailoa, bro. Like, I was ready to write Tua off. Ready to write him off. All it took was him getting in the right system with the right offensive scheme to maximize his talents. Is he a perfect quarterback? He's not. He has his limitations, but that Miami offense is humming, and he's very much like a point guard for that offense, that's pretty much what he was at Alabama.
Exactly.
So you got to be careful with these young quarterbacks. Justin Fields, both you and I didn't love him as much as like the general consensus did when he came out, because we just felt like he was just a little, like, a tick slow in, like, getting the ball off, or he wanted to see it before it was open. But we never denied like his running ability, his athletic ability, and he is shown to be one of the best running quarterbacks that's come in the NFL. Like him, Jalen Hurts, Lamar, Mike Vick, RG3, they're all of that same elk where when they're running, man, you just hold your breath like, oh, shit. So you got to be careful with writing special quarterbacks off early. That said, it's an interesting game because I wonder if they had drafted Kenny Pickett, and we don't know what he's going to end up being. But if they drafted Kenny Pickett and they had still had brought Jameis back, maybe the feeling of the team is a little different, because theoretically we're like, oh, at least we got a quarterback, right? Maybe we don't, right? Maybe we don't know if he's good or not, but at least we think we do. But to be where they are, where they Saints don't have a quarterback, don't have a head coach, or whatever you want to call. I don't know, whatever, man. He's substitute teacher, bro. That's what DA is, just bro, substitute teacher.
Exactly.
But
don't have a pick.
Don't have a pick. But and I know we want to, we got to talk about the game. One of the most fascinating things to me this offseason will be if the Steelers continue to suck and not do well, is what they do in the draft.
Yeah.
Like, do you pull a Cardinals, and if you're picking top 3, top 4, and there's a quarterback that you love, you love Pickett? Like, do you pull that trigger and then you just try to drink it? Like, it's like that to me is fascinating.
That
like,
is fascinating,
fascinating subplot. Partly some of the reason why Kenny Pickett hasn't been great this season. It's not all on this. He's made some bad throws, but some of the things that he hasn't been great this season is that the Steelers' offensive line is not good. It's a bad offensive line. The Saints' defense. I need to see two furs fucking do something besides walk off to the sideline and head to the blue tent, bruh. Like, Cam Jordan had a pretty. I mean, Cam tried against Lamar, bro. Like, he made him. He was getting
like they was actually getting there. Like, they was getting there. And it's just like
they were. Like, Cam calls him the fumble. Like, Cam was trying, but Peyton Turner had a pretty decent game. This game against this bad offensive line, you need to stop the run game. Like, this game should be not a mirror image, but almost kind of exactly how they played against the Raiders. You know what I mean? Shut down the running game, which they did against the Raiders. They shut down Josh Jacobs, and you don't have to worry about facing a not traditional or like an exotic type of run blocking scheme. You can focus on just a very, standard quote unquote NFL run blocking. Shut down the run game, and you got to get after Kenny Pickett when he's throwing the ball. Like, it sounds easy because like the game plan's easy. The execution of it, we'll have to see.
We'll have to see. Right, exactly. And you want to see, you want to continue to see Alontae Taylor play as well as he has.
Want to see Alontae on George Pickens, buddy?
I mean, that should be fun. I mean, it's two physical
fun,
dudes.
Man. Fun.
And George Pickens, he's been looking good. How else are they health wise as far as wide receiver?
I don't know if Deontay Johnson, like, he's been injured and very injury prone for them this season. So if I'm the Saints, defensively, you focus in on Najee Harris, focus in on their backup running back Warren, who sounds like he's going to get more. He's going to start getting more touches because it sounds like he might have a little more juice than Najee. I don't know if that's the pass, whatever. But focus on shutting down the run game, and then I would devote a lot of attention to Pat Freiermuth. But this should be a game, honestly, like the Saints defense needs to be the one kind of setting the tone against the Steelers offense. Offensively, that's where I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know, Ryan. I don't know.
I don't know, man. It's like there's no meat and potatoes to the offense. Theoretically, it should be Taysom Hill and AK, like, should be the meat and potatoes. Like, theoretically, it should be Dalton managing the game, Taysom Hill, on your QB power, third and shorts, red zone activity.
That was the game plan against the Raiders, and guess what?
Kind of worked, Get the ball to AK in space, and just see what happens from there. You know what I'm saying? Spread the ball out.
This game, at least defensively, when the Saints are on offense, it's a different game because the Steelers don't really have any type of linebackers that can match up with AK, whereas the Ravens did. This really should be a game where, just like against the Raiders, man, you're using him on quick passing games. You're using him, getting him on choice routes against linebackers, getting him in space, using Taysom here and there when you need to, throw to Olave. Like, rinse, wash, and repeat, man. Like, it's not hard. Like, I really feel like it's not hard, but it's like they're making it so difficult. Like, when they ran that 3rd and 3 play and Dalton threw a 1-yard fucking pass on third down,
oh my God,
what the fuck are we doing?
I've never seen a player like, I know some people hate like stuff like clutch gene, but man, Andy Dalton, really, as long as I've watched him, he has to be one of the most anti-clutch players I've ever seen, bro. Like, whether it's prime time, whether it's like any game where it's like all the focus is on like his time to shine, he hardly ever rises to the occasion, bro.
The
And
only game,
I don't know how you quantify that shit.
the only game that vividly comes to mind was the 2015, which shows you how long, like fucking 7 years ago. The 2015 season when they were playing against the Seahawks in Seattle.
Yeah.
And that was when they had AJ Green, they had Tyler Eifert, and that offense was humming all season. And Andy Dalton played great, and that was still like kind of at the peak of the Legion of Boom era, before they declined, and that was like, oh shit, like the Bengals are for real, like, oh okay, Andy, and then after that, it was like not much sense, that, man.
And that's just him, bro. Like he's not gonna guide the ship anywhere. You know what I'm saying? He's just on for the ride, man. So it would be interesting, if he has another rough outing. If it looks like he can't do it, we'll be interested if they, just let Jameis get back in there, bro. I know it probably won't mean much as far as like wins and losses, but I mean, you got to imagine players start looking, they kind of start wondering like, man, can we get some kind of spark here and stuff like that? So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. I don't think Jameis will get in there this week, but man, I don't know if Dalton has like a rough outing. I mean, it's just getting to that point in the season where we just one of those teams where you just bounce it back between his quarterbacks, trying to find a spark, trying to find out something that works.
You are. I do have one for you though. Like I wanted to ask you this. Now that Monday Night Football's, it happened, it's gone. You've had a couple of days to kind of think about it, what have you. What are your thoughts, just in general, about the Saints right now?
Oh man, I mean, number one is like DA gotta go. Like to me, you cannot go into this offseason expecting him to like lead this team. Like you need a leader for this franchise right now, bro. Like desperately, Mickey Loomis has to make the decision that it's time to bring in a CEO. It's like when, back in the 80s, Steve Jobs, they kicked him out of Apple because he was, spending a bunch of money on R&D, kind of doing too much. Things got a little awry, so they kicked him out of Apple. Apple went like years, wasn't really doing anything. And, they eventually went back to Steve Jobs like, look, bro, we need you to guide the ship back, bro. And he came in there and, cleaned house a little bit, reorganized things, and got Apple back on track to doing what they used to do. And they, came up with the iPod and all that stuff and the iPhone, the rest is history. I'm not saying they need to bring Sean Bates back. I mean, that'd be nice, but they need to bring somebody back in there that can kind of lead the ship and be that CEO just to get the whole trajectory of the organization from the top to the bottom, back in going in one direction, to becoming a winning franchise again, bro. Because right now it's just rudderless, man. Like that's why it don't even matter when you say like, oh, who should start? Even if they did have Kenny Pickett, it's like who cares? Like if they had Kenny Pickett right now, when you don't have any real leadership and real vision, and going anywhere, it's like it doesn't really matter. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta have like the whole like organizational just synergy going towards a certain direction, and right now they just don't, man. So like, and that starts with DA, bro. Like they got to figure that out. Like that is the number one question for Mickey Loomis from here on out. And look, teams are making moves, bro. I mean, Indianapolis Colts. Look, we can laugh at Jim Irsay just selecting Jeff Saturday out of nowhere to run a team, but he's making a decision. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like at least he's making a move.
Right, like I kind of respect it though. Like, I can't, like, we don't know what's going to happen with Jeff Saturday or whatever, or anything like that.
It's going to be a disaster.
But I respect it because it's like this isn't working. This is not working. It hasn't been working. We need something else. That's it. Like, I legitimately respect that. I guess the thing that I want to know is, like, what is it gonna take? Like, what is it gonna take to get DA fired?
I mean,
shout out to D for really kind of, I think. No, she didn't tweet it, but she quote tweeted it. So I don't know who originally tweeted. So I'm sorry, I can't give proper credit. But basically, someone on Twitter said, like, what has really DA done this season in the 3 wins, right? Week 1 was MT and Jarvis Landry going off. The Seattle game was Taysom Hill being a superstar and saving the Saints bacon.
Yeah.
The Raiders game was AK and Sean Payton coming in, giving a pep talk. And lead him to a win. Like, what has he done? What has he done in 8 games?
Like, what is
really?
his signature?
Like, you can't there isn't one is the point, and it's like, I just want to know what it's going to take to get him fired, or what it's going to take for Mickey to be like, yeah, this ain't gonna work. Like, this ain't gonna do it no more.
I just don't see how Mickey could look at this roster and go into, and they say they win 6 or fewer games. How you could go into the offseason, but really it doesn't even matter how many games they win. But how can you go into this offseason looking at this roster and say they've done, like, materially worse than last year? You know, even though last year was banged up, they had quarterback issues. I mean, they started Trevor Siemian at quarterback, Ian Book, and a terrible wide receiver core. You know, I mean, AK missed like 5 games. Everything. Offensive line was a shambles. We had COVID games, and they still figured out a way to be competitive enough to win 9 games. Probably should have won 10. You know. But you never got that feeling this season where this team, had that in them. You know what I'm saying? You never got that feeling. So he really needs to really just look in the mirror and, like, man, like, what do we have to do to get this team good? And honestly, it's not even about picking this right player. Yeah, the team could be improved in a lot of spots. No question about it. But, man, it's bigger than that. It's bigger than just the roster itself. Like, it starts at the top. And you need that guidance. Like, you need that, like Mickey Loomis and Jeff Island, they'll scout players and this and that, but you need that head coach to come in there and kind of guide the team in that right direction and figure out what that vision is going to be, whether that's going to be, we're going to be a running team, or we're going to be, this prolific passing offense, are we going to be a defensive team? What style of team are we going to be? What style of execution are we going to have? Looking at just how they approach practice and stuff like that, they got to figure all that shit out, man. Like, how to build a team all over again. Like, they got to start right back at square one, in my opinion.
Speaking of, you brought up the whole thing about practice. Do you have any thoughts, positive or negative, of the team having a day off of practice today?
It just caught me. I don't remember ever seeing that. Like, do you remember ever seeing that?
No, and I'm not saying it hasn't been done or anything like that, but to your no, I do not recall ever seeing anything.
Coming off a loss, and look, man, like, it's hard to quantify that type of stuff, man. Like, practice during the season, how much rest should players get and stuff like that, man. It's a long physical season. Saints hadn't had a bye week yet. Like, they're one of the teams with the latest bye weeks in the NFL. So, like, I get it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Like, coach. That's one of those things coaches really have to know and kind of have a feel for their team. Like, hey, should I lay off? Should I rest? But man, it seems to me like DA is a lot more player friendly on that end. Even
we talked about it back in OTAs, bro.
Took it easy, bro. Like even like Nick Underhill and Triplett, they talk about it like it was a very lax training camp, like just laid back, kind of like we all good. We know we good, baby. But what I'm saying? We just need to.
But then, it all makes sense because AK literally said something about it last week before the Raiders game.
Right, exactly.
He said, no one's holding us accountable.
Nobody's holding accountable, man. And it's like the details, man. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you got – I mean, how many times you hear players talk about, oh, you got to win during the week? You hear the coaches talk about it. You win during the week. You win through Monday, Wednesday through Friday. And then, Sunday is all good. Everything's easy on Sunday because you won the process during the week or whatever. Like, I don't know if all this coaching talk or not, but, it must mean something. And but like I said, man, when you losing, how we losing, bro, you question everything. Every single thing.
Jinx.
The team decides to do. Like if they were practicing hard this week, we'd be wondering, like, are they pressing too hard? It's like, I don't know. I have no idea. But it does seem like something that's a kind of a part of DA's approach is, it's kind of, go with the good substitute teacher. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying, bro.
The good substitute, they used to come in there and be like, hey, man, look, hey, as long as y'all keep the noise down a little bit, man, y'all just, all good. Y'all can chill, talk, have your little snacks.
Bro, I remember them so clearly.
Like, hell yeah, love that substitute.
We just be having like fun, like it's just the team doesn't have, and I think, and again, I think our dude Mark said it in the live stream of like what is the Saints' identity. I think the bigger question is, besides identity, it's just like, what is the direction of this team? Like,
exactly.
Because it just seems like they are floating without a rudder, just drifting off the sea, bro. And
directionless.
Everyone talking about Gale, is Gale gonna, be okay with? Like, listen, Gale got rid of Stan Van Gundy in one season for the Pelicans because they clearly saw very quickly that he was not the guy for the Pelicans.
Right.
And they went out. We've said it numerous times on this podcast. They went out. They hired Willie Green. They got the right guy in place. Now, if you are an owner and you've seen that that's worked once, you would have to think that it's like, man, I know DA is part of the quote unquote family, but this shit is looking gross on the field. Like, and at that point, and this is where I just question if they're able to sever that buddy friendship, nepotism relationship, because it's that way with DA. We being real, like it's a large part of the reason why he got the fucking job. And like Mickey still has it with Sean. Like Mickey's not gonna when it's time to trade Sean, Mickey's not gonna play hardball and be like, no, like just staunch and trying to hold teams over a barrel. Like him and Sean gonna be like, just I could just see him like in a bed together, both laying on their stomach and feet just in the air, bro. Just got the iPhone on speakerphone, just calling teams like, hey, this is my friend Sean. He wants to call. Like, can't you just see that shit?
Like, what do we need to do to make it work for you?
Like, no, nigga, like get it first. Like, what are you doing? But getting back to the game, it's a really simple. The game needs to be about AK. Game needs to be about Taysom. And can we do this thing where if we see a certain offensive lineman get smoked, like if Ram is having a bad game, can we not send this nigga a chip? Can we help this dude out? Like, this is just simple football. Like, when's the last time we saw someone chip Like Sean Payton, like that was his first thing going into every game. We've said it before.
Everything.
Who is their best pass rusher? What are our blocking schemes that we need to implement that's going to not cause that defensive pass rusher to disrupt and take over the game? Sometimes it worked, sometimes it fucking didn't, but there was a fucking plan. Man, I don't even know what they be going in the game plans. Like, block him? Block him? I don't know. I would love the Steelers secondary besides Mika Fitzpatrick hasn't been great. It seems like if there's, I did never get the sense that it was 50-50 on drivers for last game. I do get a sense that he might play on Sunday, and I think that will help a lot because they just need a quick rhythm passing game.
Yeah.
And why is this team just allergic to going up tempo when the offense is struggling?
I never understood it, bro.
Like, this is not a Pete Carmichael thing. This goes back to Sean. Like, when the offense is just struggling, we saw it on Monday Night Football, bro. Offense was trash all first half. 2-minute drill. Andy Dalton puts together a little nice 2-minute drill, although those are awful passes to Callaway. That should have been a touchdown. But at least at that point, the ball was moving. There was rhythm. There was, like, this emphasis on, like, we need to pick up the pace. And then after halftime, bro, we just gone.
Back to la.
I don't know, man.
They need something, though, bro. They need something, man. I don't know what it is. It's like just the lack of just creativity, the lack of something, man. Like something's got to give, bro. Like at least be fun, At least be fun. Cook some stuff up. Like, can we get some shots down the field? Can we get some stuff going with Shaheed and Olave?
Why was he not more in the game plan against the Ravens?
I don't know.
Denim is in demand at Plato's Closet in West Ashley and North Charleston. Get cash on the spot for everything denim. Bring in your trendy and classic styles of gently used name brand denim. Get paid for your denim shorts, skirts, jackets, jeans, and more. We're looking for denim that is blue, black, or a bold color, and jeans in styles like mom jeans, bootcut, baggy, flared, and ripped. We want everything denim. Sell your denim for cash at Plato's Closet today. Plato's Closet, located in West Ashley on Sam Rittenberg Boulevard and North Charleston on Rivers Avenue.
I mean, it's not much more to say, guys. Like,
analyzing these games are just like, it's really about the big question after each one of these games, man. It's like, where do we go from here?
That's it. It's like the recurring question that just pops up over and over again. Like, what's next? What's next? I will say this though. When you're 3-6 and you're going against a team that has a worse record than you, man, if you don't win that game, like
things get dark, boy.
Bro, like if they lose to the Steelers, like does DA make it to next week against the Rams, bro? Like,
right?
So someone suggested, I forgot who it was, man. Someone suggested, man, just fire DA so the team can get that post, that interim coach boost, bro.
Interim coach boost, boy.
Yeah, Doug Marrone getting there for maybe Doug Marrone can get 2 wins in a row after that DA firing, bro.
Something, man.
Think about this. Think about this real quick. Remember when John Gruden got fired and they put Rich, Bisaccia or whatever, special team coordinator. He was the interim head coach. I know probably like he probably isn't like a good head coach overall, but I was watching those Raiders games.
Yeah.
And you could tell that the team respected the fuck out of him.
Exactly.
And there was at least some direction and organizational direction of the team. What happened? They let him go. He's in Green Bay. They brought in Josh McDaniels. Man, I don't know who's the worst head coach, Josh McDaniels or DA, bro. Don't know.
I really don't know. I couldn't tell you, bro. I couldn't tell you.
So it just goes to show. I'm not saying Rich Bisaccia was a great head coach, but you could tell that his players loved playing for him. You could tell that his players respected him, and at least there was some type of planned direction when the Raiders played. And they flirted with almost making the playoffs, or did they make the playoffs?
But they did. They made to the playoffs. Remember?
Yeah, they made the playoffs.
Yeah.
And so just watching that Monday night game, man, I just felt the team had like quit on DA. I feel like I feel the team's tuned him out. I feel just like, and every time. Go ahead.
But you can still see like those players, DeMario and those players that's still so prideful, man. They just want to win. They want to play good football, man. You can tell there's just those prideful players that just want to play good football, and you feel bad for them. Like, it's like, damn, man. It's like, can we do better? You know what I'm saying? Like, can we give them a better chance? But it's like at some point, even for them, they're going to be like, man, let me just collect my game checks.
Right.
Be a professional and get on out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's unfortunate. Because there are some good players on the team, bro.
There are. I mean, there's talent, even with the injuries and everything. There's talent. One thing that might happen because of the Pete Warner injury, and DA didn't talk about the Pete Warner injury at all, but so we don't know what the hell it is. But I would obviously expect to see Kate and Ellis and to DeMario, but might also see some Zach Bond, bro.
Zach Bond season
might get some bonfire, bro. Might get some.
At least get him some snaps, bro.
Please. At this point, just entertain us, bro. Like, I could guarantee you, as dark as this season has been, bro, if Zach Bond gets a sack during the live stream, bro, we would fucking erupt, man. So at this point, it's just like the little things. Like, just give us the little things.
Little things, man.
Not asking for a lot. Just give me a Zach Bond sack. Like, please. That's at the very least. We'll see what happens, man. I'm glad it's an early game.
Oh yeah, thank goodness.
Over and done with. But it's a game that they need to win. It's a game that it's a game that on paper they probably should win. But I mean, we didn't even really talk. We talking so much about DA. Like, man, you got DA going against Mike Tomlin, bro. Like, that is a mismatch.
Mismatch, bro.
like talk about the matchups on the X's and O's, bro. Like, just look at the head coaches. Like, I just want to see, even win, lose, man. Like you said, can it just be fun? Can I just get, man, just give me like a 40, 50-yard touchdown pass to Chris Olave, bro, and just have the live stream just happy and shit. Like, just give us some excitement, because the shit that we've seen at times during this season, the Cardinals game, the Ravens game, like that is like, just even for us as people who are emotionally disconnected, or like, that's just depressing, bro.
It's depressing, man. That's what I don't want, that depression shit.
Like, it just feels like that feels like hopeless and just like dire. Like this shit is just the worst. That said, we'll see what happens on Sunday. Again, with everything that's happened in the season, if you're still listening to us, you're still listening to these preview podcasts, you are a saint. We appreciate y'all truly, truly, truly. For sticking with us, even with the team doing as poorly and playing as poorly as they are. So as always, on Sunday we'll have the game going. We'll be in the Zoom live stream, watching the game as it is going on. I'll ask you this, because I asked you this before the Ravens game. Did you say that they were going to beat the Ravens? Did you say yes? You said no, right? We both said no.
Lose,
yeah. We were like, nah, nigga. They beat the Steelers, yes or no?
I'm gonna say I'm gonna say they get a W, bro.
They're gonna win. They're gonna beat the Steelers.
I think they'll beat them. They'll beat them, bro.
No, bro, I don't see it. Can't, bro. I can't. I need to see something. I need to see, like, as I just no, I need to see something. We'll see though. I'm not confident. And then after the Steelers, we get to watch Aaron Donald against our offensive line next Sunday.
Oh my God.
Just watching a snuff film, bro. Faces of Death football edition, bro. Just on repeat. But thank y'all so much for the support. We really appreciate y'all. If you have not become a Patreon yet, like, this is really the perfect time to do it, just to get into the Discord, because
man,
who knows what's going to happen with Twitter within a couple of months. Twitter might cease to exist. Like, what a fucking debacle that all that shit is happening right now. Yeah. So if we have our community that is just thriving. Every topic, whether it be Saints related, Pelicans related, movies, video games, politics, networking, whatever, is all in our Discord. All you have to do is become a Patreon at any level, and just get with like-minded people. It also gives you access to tons of other things, such as the Zoom live stream, such as being able to watch the game on Sundays, and a plethora of other things. So I know it's been a bad season, but I do want something that Ryan and I are still very keen on, is building our community. So if you are able to become a Patreon, hop in the Discord. We have a lot of great people in the Discord, man. Like, a lot of great people that support us, that we've met and interacted with, that are become like our family. Like, honestly, like legitimately. I'm not saying that with any type of hyperbole. Like, they have legitimately feel like they have become our family. So thank y'all for supporting us. We'll be back on Sunday for the recap pod. I'll be watching Black Panther after the game, so I'll record that Sunday night. But thank y'all. Enjoy the game as much as you can. But again, try not to take it too seriously. It's just fucking football. Don't let these dudes ruin your day, your week, your relationship, your marriage, your parenting with your kids. Please. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Like, I've seen the timeline during these bad games, bro, and it's dark. It's dark out there. Don't let these dudes do it to you. It's not worth it. Anyway, with that, we'll be back Sunday night for the recap pod. With that, we're out.
Peace.
You've got questions? O'Reilly Auto Parts has answers. Need a pro you can trust? We've got that too. No matter what you need, our professional parts people have the training and expertise to help you do things right. Deep automotive knowledge. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly.